What is going on, Slay Baes? It's Ashley and welcome back. So today I'm thinking, I want to do a very pretty, glowy, fresh base with like a smoked out wing liner. Well, maybe not smoked out, maybe like a brown liner. Keep it very soft, pretty, sultry, but still cute. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. I really wanted to sit down and film my makeup because I do want to take some pictures for Instagram, hence my little headband, and my hair is like a little bit different. I've been really experimenting with different hairstyles. I'm thinking I want to put them in a video, like compile all the hairstyles I've been experimenting with and do like a hairstyles 101 video. Let me know how you guys would feel about that. If you guys have not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys do so by pressing that subscribe button. Also, somebody told me that the like button wasn't working, so if you could do me a solid, press the like button so that way I know if it's working or not. Likes go a long way on my channel, so do that. Also click that bell if you haven't already. It just notifies you whenever I upload, which is every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that, I'm behind on schedule today. Let's zoom in so that way we can get started on the look. Let's go. I'm gonna first start off with primer. Now I already did my skin prep. I put on my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, my sunscreen, and I also did a little bit of eye cream to hydrate underneath my eyes before I actually roll into everything. I'm gonna go in with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. As you can see, I have about this much. I really want to use this up just so that way I can use up other primers in my collection. So if it's a little bit repetitive, just know I'm trying a new thing where I actually use up the makeup in my collection. So I'm gonna start off by just putting this all over. By the way, if you guys didn't know, e.l.f. recently restocked their dupe primer, which is a spot on dupe for Milk Hydro Grip. I will have it listed down below. I did already place my order for the e.l.f. one because I'm like running out of that one too, and because I love the Milk one so much, I definitely want to have an affordable backup in my collection. But I love the way this feels on my skin. It feels very tacky to touch, but not like overly sticky like glue or anything like that. The next thing I'm going to do after primer is go in with a little bit of color corrector. This one here is by Pixi, one of my personal favorites. I'm just going to take any kind of brush really, and I'm going to use this to combat the darkness underneath my eyes. I feel like if you struggle with darkness, color corrector is just incredible. Like literally incredible. Also, I want to note that I recently started time blocking on Google Calendars. Like, it's a big move for me. It's a big thing because I'm trying to have more structure in my day so that way I get more things done, and I'm actually filming a lot earlier than usual. I did intend on filming like way earlier, like maybe 2 hours before this, but some things got in the way, so I wasn't able to do that. But I'm still really happy that I'm able to sit down and film very early just so that way I get more things done. I feel like working from home is a constant struggle like every single day because it's very easy to get distracted. It's very easy to get off task, and it's very easy not to have a schedule and not to have structure. So I'm trying my best to just implement more structure into my day, and so far so good. I'm just taking this around my nose too, and I'm also really going to focus it on these scars. If you struggle with scars, like dark marks or anything like that, a peach color corrector is going to work wonders for covering up those areas. As you can see, ew! Didn't mean for that to happen. But yeah, it really does a good job covering all of this up. Love that for us, right? Also gonna take a little bit right here. Instantly after applying that color corrector, my skin looks flawless. Like, it's so crazy. I wish I can go out in the day like this, but it's kind of pinky, so we definitely need to cover that up. Before I do that though, I'm going to go in with a little bit of foundation. Now, I'm going to do a cross mix between two different products. I'm going to use the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation, but I'm not going to use too much of it. I'm really using it for the coverage. I also love that it is very skin-like, but if I put way too much, it can be very full coverage really quickly. So I'm only going to take the slightest bit of it, and I am going to mix it in with something that is very, very fluid. I'm going to be using this product right here. Actually, where is it? Just kidding. It's actually right here. This is by Kosas. This is the tinted face oil. Now, I really love using this product when I put on sunscreen and I want something very, very simple, lightweight, that's going to add the slightest bit of coverage but not really look like I'm wearing too much makeup. This is very, very fluid, almost very watery, and I have mine here in the shade 5.5. I'm going to put some on the back of my hand just so that we can see what I'm talking about. Very, very fluid. So I like to put it on a brush. I'll dip my brush into the product and then I'll blend it in with the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. This is going to give me coverage, but it's not going to be like too heavy on the skin. So I'm just going in with a foundation brush because I find that this blends out very, very nicely with a foundation brush. And you can just see that it's giving my skin beautiful coverage, especially mixed in with the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. Now, if you go in with way too much of that stick foundation, it can look very heavy very quickly. So that's why I only went in with a couple streaks of that foundation. If you guys have tried the Kosas tinted face oil, let me know how you guys feel about it. I'm actually very, very impressed. I didn't think I was gonna like something so lightweight, but I'm telling you, on those days where I'm not wearing makeup but I want a little bit of coverage, it literally gets the job done. It's unreal. I really want to try more products from Kosas. Like, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Am I saying that right? I want to try more products from brands like Glossier, Kosas, Tower 28. I think that's what it's called. By the way, not sure if I said, I am using a brush. This is the Pro number 56 by Sephora Collection. One of my personal favorites, you guys. So good. What do you guys think about this combo? Literally a power combo. I'm telling you, don't sleep on it. These two together are so bomb. Now that I have my base on, it's really time to go in and do more of a full coverage under eye. I notice whenever I'm trying to do like natural skin days, I can't really skimp out on concealer completely because I feel like it always looks very, very weird, especially in photos. And I do want to take a lot of photos today for the gram. So I'm going to be going in with this by Laura Mercier. This is the Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer in the shade 1N. And I do like to take quite a bit of this underneath my eye. I'm going to start right here. I'm gonna bring it out, and then I'm also gonna take it very close to the sides of my nose. I'm also gonna take some right here alongside my nose. I'm gonna take a little bit on my chin, Cupid's bow, and forehead. And I'm gonna wait for that to sit for maybe about 45 seconds, just so that way it dries down a little bit, and then we'll blend it out with the sponge, because when this sits for a little bit, perfection, literally perfection. Now that I've given that time to set, I'm gonna go in with just a little bit more concealer on the back of my hand. And the reason I'm putting it on the back of my hand is because whatever sponge I'm using, I'm going to take the sponge and dip it into that concealer and then blend it out. Just like this. And I am using a ColourPop sponge for this step. Concealer, it's nice and blended out. I'm now going to go in with a cream bronzer. This one is by Fenty. This is their brand new cream bronzer. It's called Cheeks Out in the shade 03 Macchiato. Now, when I tried this, I really liked it. I'm going to be using the Pro number 47 brush by Sephora Collection, and I'm going to be adding some color to my skin. And I'm doing this before I set down my under eye area, because sometimes I notice I'll go in with way too much powder and then it kind of, I don't know, it kind of messes up this bronzer area. So I've learned to actually do cream, bronzer, blush, highlight, whatever first, and then go in with a little bit of under eye powder once I blended out all the creases. So I'm just going in with a little bit at a time. If you guys have tried out the Fenty Cheeks Out bronzer, let me know how you feel about it versus the shade sticks. Like, I really, really love the shade stick. You guys know mocha is my jam, but I want to know what your thoughts are on the new cream bronzers if you guys have tried them. I know some people said that they look really, really muddy and they kind of move, but I don't find that to be the case on me personally. I think it looks really, really natural and really pretty. I'm going to take a little bit more of that cream bronzer and I'm just going to stick some on my nose. And I know this is kind of like a weird way of applying bronzer, but I feel like it looks a little bit more natural as opposed to trying to like chisel out your whole nose. And I'll go back in with my concealer sponge and I'll kind of clean this up to be a little bit more natural, but I find that when I do this, it looks the most natural on me personally. Now I am going to go in with just a little bit more of that concealer like right here, and I'm going to wait for it to set a little bit. And while I wait for it to set, I'm going to go in with cream blush. Now I did already try out this one right here. This is called Petal Poppin'. It is such a gorgeous cream blush shade, but I do want to use Fuego Flush Day, that orange. Yeah, the orange is crazy, crazy pretty. And when I first saw it, I knew I wanted to play around with it and use it. So I'm going to go in with Fuego Flush and I'm going to use the angled brush. This is a Face 125 by Fenty. I'm going to use this to apply. Ooh, this has nice shimmer reflex to it. I'm going to smile. I'm going to pop it on my cheeks and I'm going to make sure I blend it nicely into the cream bronzer. I feel like these are really pretty and buildable, which for me, that's exactly what I'm looking for in a cream product. I want something that's buildable. I'm also going to make sure I blend this out really well. And then if I need to go back into that cream bronzer to further blend, I will. Just because I want things to like melt into each other. Sorry, I had to grab the cream bronzer. I want things to melt into each other. So I'm going to go in with just like a little bit more and just blend it up into that blush. And then I'm going to go in with that foundation brush and I'm just going to softly, lightly, whatever you want to call it, blend. All right, so now that I have that cream blush on, I definitely want to go in and start blending out that concealer I reapplied. So I'm going to take a little bit more on the back of my hand. I know so many steps for like a natural glowy look. That's the reality of it. You really have to apply your products in a strategic way. So I'm going to go and look up and I'm just kind of pressing here and really blending that out. And the reason I apply just a little bit more is just so that way I can kind of blend the blush down, because sometimes I feel like I blend the blush a little bit too high, and then if I already have my concealer set, I can't really do anything about it because it's a cream product. So that's why I started blending out my under eye after cream blush. Well, waiting to set it until after cream blush. And I do like to apply a little bit more just so that way I can kind of retract if I went a little too ham. And I find that this just works really well for me because I'm not too advanced with cream products yet. Cute. Okay, let's go in with loose powder. Now this can get very, very tricky really quickly, especially when you're trying to go for a very kind of like natural-esque look, because I feel like powder really takes it to the next level. So the powder I'm going to use today is by Hourglass. This is the Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm going to take it on this brush right here. This is a Pro Contour number 79 by Sephora Collection, but I find that it fits really, really nicely like right underneath my eyes. Before I go in with powder though, I want to make sure my brush is very, very nicely saturated with the powder. I don't want more powder to be on one side than the other, so I like to just swirl my brush into the product. I'll tap off, and then before I actually go in with this powder, I'll make sure that my under eye area is completely dry and creaseless. So I'll look up, pat it, and then set with the powder I put on the brush. I also want to make sure my eyelids are nice and blended out too. And then I'll go in and I'll just lightly tap. And the reason I like to use a brush as opposed to a sponge is because sometimes I feel like a sponge applies way too much product. I feel like a sponge is really great if you're going for like that full coverage under eye and you really want to pack powder underneath those areas. But whenever I'm doing like something a little bit more natural like this, a brush is the way to go. 100%. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna blend out those creases, saturate my brush with powder, tap off the excess, and then just pat. And I'll also take this on my eyelid as well, especially because I'm only gonna do like a brown liner. Like I'm not gonna smoke it out or anything like that. I'm also gonna take this powder down my T-zone just to combat the shine, because let me tell you, even when you want to go for a really natural dewy look, shine in the center of the face doesn't look cute on anybody. And at this point, if you find like your under eyes are creasing a little bit, take a little bit of that powder on the tip of the sponge and then just press it like in the very inner corner. Don't drag it down too far because like I said, when you use a sponge, like it gets dramatic really quick. All right, our face, it's nice and fresh, but it's not like overly powdered. Honestly, this look is for everyone out there who feels like I put on way too much base makeup. Like this for me, this is a little bit, okay? I am gonna go in with a little bit of a powder blush just to kind of set my cheeks because I live in Florida and if I apply anything too wet and slippery, it will kind of slip and slide throughout the day, and I do want to take cute pics today. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Almay Healthy Hue blush just to set that cream blush down. It's not really going to alter the way it looks at all. It's really just going to give it a little bit more of a nice flush. Now you could totally skip the cream blush by Fenty if you feel like it's a little much to do both, but this is me personally. This is kind of what works, okay? And I'm just showing y'all the process. I'm also gonna take the extra step of setting down that cream bronzer just a little bit, and I'm gonna use this Paradise Found bronzing powder by NARS. And I'm just going to take a little bit of it here. You can see it really accentuates that bronzer and makes it look a little bit more intense, which is something I'm into. Now, if you don't want your contour or bronzer to be this intense, I would definitely skip the cream product and then just go in with a little bit of powder because I feel like both can be a little intense. Ooh, right now, honey, I have on a bronzer helmet. I'm going to just kind of blend out that contour just so that way it's not taking over my whole forehead. That can always be an issue. All right, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of that bronzer and just lightly tap it alongside my nose for a flush of color. I'm also gonna take some on my eyelids too. And I'm just using this brush right here. It's a number 96 by Sephora collection. I've been really into their brush line recently. It's really good. I don't know, I have some creasing going on my eyelids and I kind of want to fix it since I'm not going in with like any real eyeshadow today. So to fix that, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the P. Louise base too. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. I'm gonna take a fluffy brush and I'm just gonna go in and reset this inner part of the lid because it was looking a little creasy. Not the vibe, not what we're into, okay? It's that situation where I said if you set it crease, it will literally say crease all day long. So I'm going in, reapplying some of that cream product. I'm actually gonna drag it out all over my eyelid. And I'm gonna set down with the Hourglass powder. Now I can go in with a little bit of that cream bronzer onto my eyelid. And you can see just applying a fluffy brush just applies that color in such like a diffused out way. The next thing I'm gonna do for powder is go in with this powder right here by Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is called Do Me, and this is gonna add such a beautiful like highlight to the skin without looking highlighted. So I'm gonna take a highlighter brush, dip into the Do Me powder, swirl it on the cap and then just pop it right here. You can see it adds such beautiful luminosity to the face. And this has definitely been my vibe. Like, I've been really into this. Like, if you get anything from Jaclyn Cosmetics, definitely get this powder right here. It is just one of my holy grails. Now that I'm zoomed out a little bit, I definitely want to add a little bit more bronzer into my crease just to make it look a little bit more blended. I know that it currently looks very soft and effortless, but I'm actually a real life perfectionist. So I'm going to take an M441 and I'm just lightly going to blend this out. Now that that's done, I want to go in and do kind of like a brown eyeliner. So I'm going to use the Just Peachy Mattes palette by Too Faced, but you can literally use whatever brown eyeshadow. You can use your bronzer, literally just use what you have. I'm going to take Peach Tart right here on an angled brush, and I'm going to do a brown wing, like a brown eyeshadow wing, just so that way it's still soft. And the brush I'm using is a Pro Brow number 20 by Sephora Collection. Actually, I definitely feel like I need a smaller brush. I'm gonna use a brush like this by ABH. I lied. I'm gonna use this brush right here. This is a A14, at least I think. That's what I'm gonna use. Now this is a very, very dark brown eyeshadow. You can do like a light brown. You can literally do whatever you want. I'm gonna mix in a little bit of this shade right here. It's called Peach Tea, and I still haven't fixed this nail. I've been a little lazy. I'm probably gonna do it today. I also need to self-tan because I'm looking a little pasty these days. You know, I've really been wanting to do a video where I talk about products that I buy outside of beauty. Like, don't get me wrong, like they're still in the beauty realm of things, but just like random products that I buy outside of makeup, because I do buy a lot of stuff outside of makeup, and there are some really, really awesome staples in my collection that I think you guys would be interested in hearing more about. So before I go in with false lashes, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of setting spray, just because whenever I go in with like my mascara and then go in with setting spray, sometimes it'll kind of run. So I want to set this down before then. And I'm really debating between lashes right now. I think in my mind, I'm gonna go with these right here, these Miami Flares. These are really, really pretty, but I do need to clean up the band a little bit. Or I can go in with these ones right here. These are NYC. I feel like these might be a little bit too dramatic, so I'm gonna go in with Miami Flare. I'm gonna do that off camera though, and then we'll come back and we'll finish off the look. Okay, so lashes are on. I actually went in with this lash curler right here by Revlon just to kind of pinch my lash in with the false lash. Honestly, this makes my false lashes look so natural whenever I put them on without like black eyeliner. It allows me to get my lash super close to the lash line. I don't know, definitely game changer. Love it. Just wanted to put that out there. I am going to go in with some mascara. This is the Fenty mascara. It's one of 3 mascaras I have in my everyday makeup drawer. And I'm just gonna coat my lashes in with the falsies. Honestly, if you're gonna wear falsies, it doesn't even really matter what mascara you go in with, because I mean, it's really all about the false lash. I'm gonna go in with another mascara for my lower lashes. This one is the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara, because I'm hella extra whenever it comes to mascaras. So we're almost done with the look. I'm gonna go in with a lip liner. This is the Milani Saucy Toffee lip liner that I feel is a pretty good dupe for KKW lip liner in the shade 2. I've been obsessed with brown lip liners, and I actually haven't done a brown lip in quite a few videos now, so it's long overdue. I'm gonna wipe away that lip balm. By the way, I am wearing this lip balm right here by Wet n Wild. This is the Grapefruit Mint Lip Treatment, and it's pretty good. I went a little overkill with lip liner. Not gonna lie, but it's okay. I'm gonna go in with a lipstick now. I'm gonna go in with Nude 2 by KKW. One of my personal favorites. I'm gonna wipe off a little bit because I have tons and tons of brown lip liner on here. Now to go back in with the lip liner and just blend. And that is pretty much it, Slay Baes. I wanted to zoom you out just so that way you can kind of get a feel for the look as a whole. Honestly, in it to win it, I think I found my new favorite way of doing like my fresh, dewy base makeup without being too full coverage or powdery. I feel like this is a good balance between the two. Like, it's not too sheer, it's right in the middle, and it looks very fresh and effortless. I'm definitely going to be doing this a ton more, especially over on the gram, because I feel like very effortless, soft makeup is very much in right now. And I feel like this makeup look screams just that. I did get a little carried away with my lip liner, but we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to talk about is the like button. Does it work? Let me know by pressing it. Thank you so much. I don't think I have much else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.